12 o'clock and you're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV. The top stories. Nationwide protests. The Nigeria Governors Forum promises to enhance security. Dangote local refineries to end fuel importation. Governors, ministers meet today to stop hunger protests. Details coming up shortly. Welcome back. Now the news. The Nigeria's Governors Forum has reiterated its commitment to improving the security and protection of lives and property at the sub-national level. According to media reports, a nationwide protest set to take place from August 1st to 10th has been generating tension and a variety of responses from Nigerians. Numerous groups expressing interest in leading the campaign stated that the protest was sparked by the escalating cost of living and the economic hardships faced by the populace. In a communique signed by its chairman, Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, made available to journalists on Thursday, the NGF emphasized the importance of implementing robust security measures to ensure the safety and well-being of citizens within their respective states. These announcements followed the forum's meeting early Thursday morning. NGF received a presentation from the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Pate, on the Nigeria Health Sector Renewal Investment Program. He provided updates on the sector-wide approach, the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, Primary Healthcare Revitalization, and National Supply Chain Management. The governors reiterated their commitment to enhancing health outcomes for all Nigerians. Owners of local refineries in Nigeria, including the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, say they can help the country stop the importation of refined petroleum products in 18 months if the federal government works with their plans. The refiners, who spoke under the aegis of the Crude Oil Refiners Association of Nigeria, say there are other refineries at different stages of completion to join the 650,000 capacity Dangote Petroleum Refinery. In an interview, Koran Publicity Secretary Eche Idoko revealed that the Dangote Refinery and others in the country can satisfy the full needs of the nation. Idoko's comment is coming at a time when the Chief Executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Regulatory Authority, Farouk Ahmed, said the country would not stop fuel importation to break the Dangote monopoly and ensure energy security. The Korean official argued there was no way the government would tackle rising inflation if it did not address the high cost of fuel, especially by working with the local refiners. And in the meantime, the federal government says it is open to talks with the leaders of the planned nationwide protest slated for August 1st to 10th. At an emergency meeting in Abuja on Wednesday, all the federal ministers were also directed to visit their respective states between Wednesday, July 24 and Thursday, August 1st, when the protests are scheduled to begin. This is as selected ministers who also meet with state governors at the 443rd session of the National Economic Council at the Council Chamber of the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja, on Thursday. This formed part of the action points from the emergency meeting between the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, and all ministers in Abuja on Wednesday morning. A circular cited by reporters on Tuesday evening showed that Special Advisors to the President on Policy and Coordination, Mrs. Hadiza Bala Usman, Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, and former Minister of Youth and Sports, Sunday Dare, were among those invited for the meeting convened to discuss the planned nationwide protests. You're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business. Still to come, the forthcoming protests. Dr. Sani Aliyu, the Commander General, Neighborhood Enlightenment and Security Organization, would be joining us live in a moment to discuss the forthcoming protests. These and more after the break. Welcome back. In the wake of growing hardship in the country and calls for a nationwide protest against President Bola Tinubu's administration, the federal government yesterday pleaded with Nigerians for more time, promising to handle the protest as a family matter. In a post on X on Thursday, legal expertise said history will vindicate the just, suggesting the protest is for good cause. It also pledged to resolve all issues in a manner that will ensure the peace and stability of the nation. The government's position came on a day Southeast governors advised aggrieved Nigerians not to go ahead with the nationwide protest, saying the country was too tense for such protests. This is even as the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) asked both the federal and state government to listen to the cries of the people and warned against the use of brute force to suppress the protest. Similarly, the minority caucus in the House of Representatives called on the federal government to dialogue with planned protesters to address their concerns, while human rights activist Femi Falana SAN warned the government against threatening organizers of the planned protest. A former presidential aspirant under the Labour Party, Comrade Faduri Oluwadare Joseph, popularly known as Fado Joe, has appealed to the youth planning a peaceful protest to keep it peaceful and not to allow thugs hijack the protest to turn it violent. Meanwhile, 36 state governors under the aegis of the Nigerian Governors Forum have reinstated their commitment towards enhancing the security of lives and property at the sub-national. The governor spoke when the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, briefed them during the Wednesday meeting that entered into the early hours of yesterday on the planned nationwide protest scheduled for August 1st to 10th. There has heightened tension in the country. On his part, Malam Ribadu promised to support the governors in improving security architecture at the sub-national level. The planned nationwide protest from August 1st to 10th is the only way Nigerians can take action against the government concerning the rising cost of living and the harsh conditions as Africa's most populous country faces what has been described as its worst economic headwinds in a generation. The protest tagged "End Bad Governance" has gained traction on social media and has been scheduled to hold across all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. However, its organizers have remained largely anonymous as no group has come forward to take responsibility. Upon assuming office 14 months ago, President Tinubu announced an end to petrol subsidies, which he said would save the government's monies for infrastructural expansion. He also unified the foreign exchange rates to curb currency arbitrage. However, this move sparked collateral slump in the value of the naira as food prices soared. More so, widespread insecurity in many farming communities has displaced farmers, contributing to higher food prices. Hence, the dire need for a nationwide protests. And now to my guests. Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
So I want to know, what is your take concerning the planned protests?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I think the government should do the needful so that they can avert the planned protest, because you don't know, you can call a protest peaceful, and at the end of the day it becomes violence. We have seen what happened in Kenya and other places in the world. Some protests you take lightly have unseated a lot of governments elsewhere in the globe. So I'm strongly advising the President Ahmed Tinubu and his team to look into the plight of Nigerian people and see how they can actually soften the hardship in the land. Because it is said that a hungry man is an angry man. There's hunger in Nigeria, there's no doubt about it. A lot of people cannot feed themselves anymore. Fuel cost is at the top. Transportation is something else. People cannot move again. Imagine we used to fly in from Lagos with 40,000 naira, 50,000 naira. But now transportation, vehicular cost from Lagos to Abuja is 50,000 naira. So you can see the wide rise in terms of cost of living. So I think the government really actually need to do something to avoid this potent danger is coming, and let them not take it lightly, because it's no room for blame game. I heard in some quarters they're saying that that is the opposition. Don't bring politics into this. Don't bring politics into this situation, because Nigerians are hungry. Nigerians are suffering. If nobody is telling the president, we are here to tell the president that people are suffering. People are dying every day because of hunger in Nigeria. And so the president should do something about it. When you say you give wages for 70,000 naira, I see NLC clapping the other day. I was disappointed, because a bag of rice is almost 100,000 naira now. So you pay somebody minimum wage of 70,000 naira. He cannot even afford to buy him a bag of rice. He cannot pay his rent. He cannot pay his medical. He cannot pay children's school fees. A lot of problem here. And then you have a National Assembly that are completely insensitive to the plight of the Nigerian people. A member of National Assembly came out the other day and was telling us how much they are earning. And you cannot even give Nigerians workers, the civil servants, a good payoff, take-home package. Now, you look at the other, a member of National Assembly collecting almost 200 and something million naira at the end of the year. So the disparity is too high. We need to close in the gap. I think the National Assembly should for once be responsible to say, okay, we are cutting our salary by 50%, as it happened in Kenya. They should show love for Nigerians and love for the nation. Let them show us that they are patriotic citizens and they feel the pulse and the pains of the Nigerian citizens, the electorate who elected them into office. You cannot govern over dead people. When people cannot feed themselves, there's insecurity here and there, people cannot go back to farm. I mean, the government should try to create an enabling environment that will allow Nigerians to move freely under a secure environment, allow farmers to go back to their farms, and let economic activities be more. Because whether you like it or not, Nigeria is an agrarian economy too. So we need to do something. The government need to do something, and it's urgent. It's not by rhetorics. It's not by telling Nigerians be patient, everything will be fine. No, Nigerians are tired of hearing be patient. So do something. Put like in the common palace. What have you on the table? What have you brought to the table? So let the president bring something up. Let him come up with something that at least will at least cushion some effect and bites of this hardship that we are seeing.
Something very tangible.
Very tangible.
So who do you think are the sponsors of this protest, and why have they chosen to remain anonymous?
Well, I don't know, because I'm not part of them, and anyway, I'm not even part of those people that agree with protests. Of course, when the government turns deaf ears, people will come out and protest. That's the truth. The government must listen, and they must act. The National Assembly is not serious. The executive should be serious, because should anything happen, it's going to affect all of them. We have seen how National Assembly members of the Assembly of Kenya were running into the bush, and they were being fed with one person with what do you call it, this takeaway, 3 people, 4 people eating from one takeaway. Assembly members. So let them be very careful. Let them know that they should not condescend, they should not lead Nigerians to take them to that level. So whether there is we have sponsors, I don't know, But I think it is not about sponsorship. Nigerians are uniting in hunger. When National Assembly are uniting in sharing Nigerians' patrimony, Nigerians today are equally united in hunger. This situation, there is no Hausa man, there is no Yoruba man, there is no Christian, there is no Muslim. And that is the most frightening situation that I'm calling on the National Assembly and the executive to look into this thing carefully. Because if this ball burst, well, I'm sorry, it's going to grab all of them. So they shouldn't even allow it to happen.
In your opinion, there are no sponsors. It's like a unified agreement.
I wouldn't know whether there are sponsors, because when you're going through what is happening in the social media, you see everybody is crying out. The imams are crying out. The church is crying out. The citizens are crying out. Everybody is crying out. It's a unification of hunger. It's a unification of hunger. It's going to be a mass. It's going to be very massive. Because you cannot, Bob Marley said it all, that a hungry man is an angry man. And when somebody is angry, his eyes are blinded, his closed, he can do anything. If all these shops you are seeing, you have seen what happened in Kenya, how they